Hello, everyone. On today's episode of Detour, we are talking marketing. We're talking grassroots marketing, the most important type of marketing that is not discussed, not digital, not Instagram, not search, actually getting out there, meeting people, connecting with people. Get out there and do it and listen to this episode. All right, on today's episode of Detour, we're going to talk about marketing, but more specifically, grassroots marketing. I think often people in this digital age overlook the basic, simple strategies of building a brand, marketing your product. So I really want to focus on grassroots marketing and what that actually means. And I have an example because I'm going to tell you what I've been doing with promoting my song, which I actually think is a really great example of what any brand, any product can do that doesn't actually cost any money. So when my song Good Morning came out, I knew the importance of playlist. I had also heard that on TikTok, a lot of songs were becoming popular. So I started thinking, I don't know anyone that has playlist, and I don't know anyone on TikTok. So where do I start? So the first thing I did, Gian, who works with me, starts going through Spotify, looking for playlists that aren't done by Spotify, but are done by individuals that we can then track who they are and find them either on Instagram or Twitter. So we found a handful of people, and it was a week and a half before Coachella. So our idea, and this is grassroots marketing 101, when something is happening in popular culture, take advantage of it to promote your product, your brand, whatever it is. In this case, my song. So what we were looking for specifically were Coachella playlists. So we found the biggest Coachella playlists that were not curated by Spotify, but by individuals. And the biggest one that we found, we ended up reaching out to him, and he was open to the idea of putting the song on, but obviously he wants to be either compensated or wants something. And so Gian, being clever, goes, "Oh, are you going to Coachella?" He goes, "Yes." He's like, "Are you getting into all the parties?" He's like, "Actually, I want to get into a few of the parties. I don't have a plug." So we actually traded an entrance into a really hot party to get on the playlist. Cost us nothing to get him into that party, but was something of value to him. And the song got on the playlist and has gotten thousands upon thousands of streams. So that was an easy way to take advantage of something happening. But the more interesting thing is because it was Coachella week for the next 2 weeks, there were thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people on Spotify searching for Coachella playlists to hear what kind of vibe that's going on there, what type of music is being played. So it's such a slam dunk. So now for me, I'm using that as like a tool to market my song. So Memorial Day weekend's coming up. Everyone's going to need a barbecue playlist. I'm going to start working on that, getting my song on barbecue playlist. Then you have summer playlist. You have Governor's Ball playlist. There's so many ways to take advantage of things. And I actually spoke to someone who is a big Spotify playlist curator, and he was even telling me one step further to be even more granular. When a very hot TV show comes out, and you create a soundtrack for it, those often go viral. So if you created the Avengers playlist for whatever the version of that just came out, and you had a playlist for it, and I'm sure some of the songs from the movie need to be on it, but you could easily include playlists like that, even gain traction. So really easy way to take advantage of things is see what's going on in the world and see how your product or brand can participate in it. Because in these moments, like coming, in the summer, you have Mother's Day, Father's Day, you have barbecues, you have July 4th, you have back to school, you have Labor Day. You have endless opportunities to market whatever you want and take advantage of those moments. So that's an easy way for anyone to do it. The other interesting thing that I did, which I think people, I don't know, it's such an easy concept, is just ask and hit people up. So TikTok, for those that don't know, was formerly known as Musical.ly. It's owned by Tencent, a Chinese company. And the concept is 15-second music videos. You have to start with a song and then you film a video for it. So now there's this whole thing happening on TikTok with challenges like the microwave challenge, the um, prom challenge, you name it. So whatever these young people are interested in, there's challenges happening. And for those that don't know, a lot of these challenges are actually manufactured by brands, by musicians, by people. So I started thinking, how do I participate in that with my song? So we said, let's come up with the Good Morning Challenge. And we ended up DMing a ton of people on TikTok. We actually found them on TikTok, DM'd them on platforms they had less followers on so that we know they'd see the message. So Twitter, Instagram. And we asked them, hey, this is the song I just came out with. Would you be interested in using it for a video? We have a concept for a Good Morning Challenge. If you don't like the challenge, would you be interested in using it for a video? I mean, probably 75% said yes and just did it. The remainder were like, oh, I usually get paid, or I usually get stuff for it. So some I gave them free clothes. A few of them I pay them 100, 150 bucks. Nothing crazy. And the song has gotten hundreds and thousands of views because of that. And I think people don't realize how simple, especially when there's an emerging platform like TikTok, where people haven't formally started monetizing it. You can reach out to people for them to wear your product, mention your brand, play your music, and practically for free get a ton of exposure. When Young and Reckless was in infancy, that's when Vine actually started taking off. And we had a guy in our office that we had focused just on Vine influencers. And all the early Vine videos are filled with Young and Reckless for free. We paid nobody, not even $1 was paid to a Vine influencer. And you couldn't go 3 videos without seeing someone wear Young and Reckless. Fast forward, I see TikTok as that opportunity today. And there's going to continue to be emerging platforms where you can find, because it's so new, the bigger brands that know how to take advantage of these things aren't there yet. So grassroots marketing is something that digitally can happen at scale very quickly. And you just have to be aggressive and you got to be on with things. And that's why I surround myself with young people who always keep me up on things. So when I hear about TikTok, when I hear about all these different other platforms that are emerging, it's because I surround myself with those types of people. But digital grassroots marketing is one thing, and I think all of us can participate in that. But still, the best is in-person grassroots marketing. That is actually physically telling someone about your product, your brand, your song, and getting them to engage with you and giving them an opportunity to question why you're doing this. What's the inspiration behind it? There's nothing more powerful than that. And I have been on this journey for the last year and a half, building my personal brand. And the reason I'm doing that is I wanted to translate to sales in my business. And it's so much easier to build my personal brand from a grassroots perspective. One, because I have the personality that I can engage with all walks of life. I enjoy the conversations. I enjoy spending time with all different types of people. And I'm very good at translating my mission, why I do what I'm doing, and eventually translating that into a sale. And what I realized early on is that the more and more people I get to meet, the more and more people I get to tell my personal story, my business history, what I'm building in, as far as my brands, the more likelihood these people are going to translate into sales. And the reason being is that their first touch with the brand is a human being and their vision, as opposed to an ad, as opposed to a promotion, as opposed to some influencer that got paid. There's nothing more powerful than a founder or someone, a believer of a brand or product, spreading the gospel of that brand. And what I realized was when I started this, I equated it to, and this may sound crazy, to running for president. I think I've mentioned it before in different podcasts, maybe even on this one, is that we're going into an election cycle. And there are 20 some odd Democratic candidates that are going to run against Donald Trump. They all start in the most grassroots manner. They are literally in a bus going from city to city telling why they should be president of the United States. Some presidential candidate right this moment is walking into a diner diner with maybe 30 people in Iowa, trying to convince each and every single person there that they should be president of the United States. If they are successful, 18 months later, they will be president. That is nuts. You could be president of the United States by shaking hands, kissing babies, and telling why you belong in that office. Why don't brands do that? Why don't people do that? Why doesn't everyone do that? Everyone, if you knew that the president of the United States had to do that to get to their position, the most powerful person on earth had to go into restaurants and coffee shops and rallies to build their brand, why the hell wouldn't you have to do that? And so I equate building a brand, building a meaningful brand is getting out there physically and meeting people, engaging with people. I know a person I meet is far likely to be a longer lasting customer than a person I don't meet. And there are ways I can build a connection with people digitally. And I think the biggest difference that you'll see with me than a lot of other people, let's just say in fashion, is that I engage with my audience, I engage with my customers, and I constantly do it. And I treat it like a job because that's how important it is to me to have that relationship with my customer. And I enjoy hearing feedback about our business, our brand, why they enjoy the service, why they enjoy our products or brands, or how they make them feel, or a moment they wore our product in. Like, that is real connection and real brand building. And if you're trying to build brands in the new digital age with Facebook ads and Instagram ads and search, those are growth hacks. They run out. They eventually run out of steam. In a small way, they all work. But instead of trying to figure out every single hack, why don't you actually spend the time to understand why a customer would want your product, why would they connect to it, and tell that story? Because if you spend that time, then your Facebook and Instagram ad is just reinforcing what you've already built on the grassroots level, on the foundation of your brand and business. And I'm a victim of this. We spent millions of dollars scaling our business when we should have been doing the grassroots movement simultaneously. If we had done that, we'd probably be a household brand name today, like be a Gap or a J. Crew. But that lesson that I learned, that spending all that money wasn't actually building a brand, was the best thing ever, because it's put me on this journey and this path, and I'm building customers for life now. And I take a very long-term approach to our business, and what we're doing today, no other brand is doing, because it's a lot of effort, and you have to want to connect with people, and you have to believe that you're actually building a brand or product that is built to last. So see how that applies to you, and DM me if you have any questions, or I'd love to hear how you're doing it with your business, because I'm constantly trying to evolve mine.